Stop. Stop scrolling. Stop whatever you are doing right now and give me your full attention, because what I am about to speak into your life in these next few moments is not a message you can afford to miss. This is not another video that appeared in your feed by accident. This is not random. This is not coincidence. I need you to understand that from this very first breath you take while listening to these words, my beloved child, I have arranged this exact moment. I knew the state of your heart today. I knew the heaviness sitting on your chest when you woke up this morning. I knew the thoughts that circled through your mind before you found your way to these words. And because I knew all of that, I placed this message directly in your path, not to entertain you, not to fill a quiet moment, but because something urgent has been pressing on my heart toward you. Do not look away. The stirring in your spirit as you listen to these words is not coincidence. It is recognition. It is the part of you that already knows, deep in the place where my voice has always reached you, that this moment matters, because, my child, you are standing at the edge of something. You may not be able to name it yet. You may only feel it as a low and constant pressure, a sense that something must change, a quiet knowing that you cannot continue exactly as you have been. That feeling is not your fear speaking. That feeling is my voice. That restlessness inside you is me calling to you, reaching toward you, refusing to let you walk further down a road that leads away from everything I have prepared. This is why I am speaking now. This is why heaven itself has turned its attention to this moment in your life. Listen carefully. You are not done. You are not finished. You are not past the point of transformation. You are not too broken, too late, too tired, or too far gone for what I have prepared. The life you have been praying for, the breakthrough you stopped daring to believe in, the restoration you whispered about in the dark of night, none of it has been canceled. Not one single promise I made over your life has expired. Not one, but I need your attention right now. This is not the moment to set this aside and come back later. This is the moment. This is your divine appointment arranged by heaven, positioned in your day for one specific purpose: to wake your spirit before the door opens that you have been standing outside of for far too long. Stay with me. Do not walk away from these words. My beloved child, come closer. Let me speak to you the way I have always longed to speak, without distance, without formality, without the noise of the world pressing between us. I have seen you. I have seen you in the moments you tried so hard to hide from everyone else. I have seen the version of you that no one else witnesses, the one that comes out in the quiet hours, in the dark rooms, in the spaces between the performance you give the world and the truth you carry inside. I have seen you wake up in the morning and for just a few seconds before full awareness returns, feel a brief and merciful peace, and then watch as the weight descended again, as memory returned, as the reality of your life came crashing back before you had even sat up. I have seen how that moment repeated itself, morning after morning, wearing at something deep inside you that you do not even have a name for anymore. I have seen you look in the mirror and try to recognize the person looking back. I have watched you search your own eyes for the version of yourself you remember, the one who had hope, who had plans, who believed the life ahead would look different. I have felt the grief of that moment, the silent mourning for a future that seemed so certain once and now feels like something you dreamed rather than something that was ever real. I have seen you smile. I have watched you perform the function of being fine, of being okay, of holding it together for everyone who needed you to. I have seen you deliver comfort to other people in the middle of your own unraveling. I have watched you give your last reserves of strength to situations and people, while secretly wondering who would do the same for you. I have felt the loneliness of that question going unanswered. I have seen the nights. Oh, my child, I have seen the nights. I have been there when 3 a.m. found you still awake, when the ceiling became the place where all your fears projected themselves, when the silence of the house felt like a physical thing pressing down on your chest. I have heard the thoughts that visited you in those hours, the ones that said you were failing, that you were behind, that you had made too many wrong choices, that the people who once believed in you would be disappointed by who you have become. I have seen you pick up your phone in those moments, not because there was anyone to call, but because the screen gave you somewhere to rest your eyes that was not your own mind. I have watched you scroll through images of other people's lives, families that looked whole, achievements that seemed effortless, joy that appeared abundant and uncomplicated, and I have felt the quiet devastation that moved through you as you compared what you saw with what you lived. I have heard you whisper in the dark. You may not have called it prayer. You may have simply spoken into the silence of your room, the way a person speaks when they have run out of options. You may have said nothing more than my name, with everything else left unspoken because the words were too heavy or too tired to form. I heard it. Every syllable, every silence, every breath that was too full of feeling to become a word. I was in that room with you. I was present in every one of those nights. Not a single tear you cried in the dark hit the ground without my knowing. Every one of them was caught. Every one of them was seen. Every one of them matters to me more than you can currently understand. My beloved child, I have also seen the battles you fought in the daylight, the ones that looked like ordinary life to everyone watching. But that cost you more than anyone could see. I have watched you navigate relationships that confused you, that hurt you, that changed shape without warning. I have seen you try to hold on to people who were slowly letting go, adjusting and bending yourself to keep something together that was already finished. I have felt your heart during those seasons, the desperate hope that things would return to what they once were, and the grief of understanding that they would not. I have seen the betrayal you endured. I witnessed the moment when someone you trusted used that closeness to wound you in a way that only someone on the inside could. I watched what that did to you in the long aftermath, the way it changed how you walked into rooms, the way it altered how quickly you extended trust, the quiet guardedness that settled over your spirit like a shell you did not entirely choose. I was there, and what was meant to destroy you has already become part of the material I am using to build something stronger. The scar tissue that forms over a wound is always tougher than the original skin. I have also seen the guilt you carry about choices made in different seasons, the decisions you wish you could return to and make differently. The words spoken in anger or fear that left marks on relationships you valued. I have seen you rehearse those moments in quiet intervals, replaying them with the excruciating clarity of hindsight. My beloved child, listen to me carefully now. I do not keep records of your failures the way you do. The long and detailed list of shortcomings you review in your most private moments is not the ledger of heaven. It is the voice of an adversary who knows that if he can keep your eyes fixed backward on your failures, he can prevent you from moving forward into the purpose I have written for your life. You do have a purpose. Written before your name was given, before your first breath, before the world knew you existed. I wrote that purpose knowing every choice you would make, every season you would stumble through, every moment you would wonder if you had disqualified yourself. I wrote it knowing all of that, and I wrote it anyway, because my plans for your life were never based on your perfection. They were based on my love, and my love has not changed. Type amen in the comments right now if you believe God still has a plan for your life. My dear child, I want to speak to you about something you have carried for a long time without fully naming it. It is the fear that you are behind. The feeling that something went wrong in the sequence of your life, that the timing you expected has been disrupted beyond recovery, that everyone else seems to be advancing while you remain in a place that should have been temporary. I see that fear. I know its shape inside you. It arrives disguised as urgency sometimes, the anxious pushing toward outcomes that feel overdue. It arrives as comparison other times, the involuntary measuring of your life against the lives you observe. The quiet voice that says you should be further along, should have more, should have become something different by now. Let me tell you what I see from where I stand. I do not see someone who is behind. I see someone who is exactly where the most important part of their preparation is happening. The seasons that felt like stalling, the years that felt like waiting in an empty hallway, while everyone else moved through doors that remained closed to you, those seasons were not punishment. They were not evidence that I had forgotten you or reduced the scope of what I intended for your life. They were forge. Fire does not destroy what it is meant to strengthen. It only destroys what was never strong enough to be part of what comes next. Every season of waiting you endured, every period of silence that confused you, every closed door that pressed you back when you were sure you were ready. All of it was working on the inside of you, strengthening the character and the foundation that must exist before the weight of what I have prepared can be placed upon it. Remember the one who was thrown into a pit by the people who should have protected him, sold far from his home, imprisoned even after he served faithfully, forgotten even when he helped others. Year after year of one disappointment descending after another, and the morning he walked out of that prison into the purpose I had always written for him. Not one of those years had been wasted. Every single one had built something in him that could not have been built any other way. Your years have not been wasted. Your seasons of silence have not been abandoned time. They have been building something in you that the next chapter of your life will require. And the next chapter is closer than you think. My beloved child, I am speaking with urgency today because the season you are entering is not the season you have been in. Something is shifting. Something has been quietly repositioning in the background of your life, arrangements you could not see, doors moving in their frames, connections and circumstances aligning in ways that will only become visible when you step into the threshold. But I need you to be ready. Not perfect, not without fear, not with every question answered and every doubt resolved. I need you to be ready in the way that readiness actually works: open, attentive, willing to move when I say move, willing to trust when you cannot see the full shape of what I am doing. This is why I have interrupted your day. This is why these words appeared before you at this exact moment, not to comfort you back into the same position, but to wake your spirit to what is coming, to ensure that when the door opens, and it is opening, my child, even now it is moving, you will recognize my hand in it. You will not shrink back because you feel unworthy. You will walk through. My dear child, I want you to pause with me and feel what I am about to say reach the deepest place in your heart. You have been brave, not in the way that draws applause, in the quiet, unseen way that is actually the most difficult kind, the kind that keeps getting up without an audience, keeps believing without evidence, keeps giving in seasons when nothing is returning, when the ground feels more like sand than solid earth. I have watched that courage. I have seen the mornings when you chose to keep going even though nothing in you felt equipped for another day of the same. I have seen you guard hope when cynicism would have been easier, when people who had surrendered their own dreams tried to hand their resignation to you as wisdom. You did not take it. That matters to me more than you know. The faith you have kept imperfect, trembling. Sometimes barely a thread is not invisible to me. It is one of the most extraordinary things I have witnessed in your journey. I have also watched you carry grief. Real grief, the grief of things that ended before their time, of futures that did not unfold as they were supposed to, of relationships that could not survive what life brought against them, of versions of yourself you had to put down because circumstances demanded something different. That grief is real. I do not ask you to pretend otherwise, but grief and purpose are not enemies. They often travel the same road for a season. You can be in the process of healing and the process of becoming at the same time. Both are true. Both can occupy the same life simultaneously, and I am in both. I am in your healing, tending to the wounds that still need attention with a gentleness I want you to feel even now. And simultaneously I am in your becoming, arranging the path ahead with a precision that will one day make you breathless when you see how each piece connected. You were not forgotten in the waiting. You were being made ready, my beloved child. I want to speak now to the force that has been working against your life, not with fear, but with authority. There has been an adversary operating against you. You have sensed it in the accumulated weight of resistance that followed you through seasons when you should have been advancing, in the patterns of setback that appeared just as you were gaining momentum, in the whispers that arrived in your most vulnerable moments and told you that you were not enough, not worthy, not chosen. Those whispers did not come from me. They came from one who understood what I had placed in you before you fully understood it yourself. He does not attack what poses no threat. The very intensity of the opposition you have faced is a testimony to the significance of the purpose inside you. He has lied to you about your worth, your future, and my presence. He has taken the delays of divine timing and repackaged them as evidence of divine abandonment. He has taken the silence of seasons when I was doing my deepest work and whispered that the silence meant I was not there. But I was there. I am here now. And everything he told you was wrong. You are not too damaged for what I have prepared. You are not too late. None of his lies hold the weight of truth, because truth belongs to me, and the truth about you is that you are chosen. You are loved, you are purposeful, and you are on the edge of a season that will make the hard years make sense. Do not give him another moment of your agreement. Right now, choose not between easy and hard, But between his story about your life and mine, choose mine because mine is the one that leads somewhere. Say out loud right now, I am not done. Type it in the comments below if you believe it. My dear child, let me describe what I am doing right now, not what I will do someday, not what might happen if circumstances align, but what I am doing in this present moment as your eyes move across these words. Right now, I am moving in the circumstances around your life. Things are repositioning that you cannot yet see. Arrangements are being made in the places where your prayers have been traveling, not wasted, not forgotten, but actively working, producing outcomes that have not yet surfaced into your visible experience, but are already real in the realm where I operate. Right now, I am speaking to hearts connected to your story. People some you know, some you have not yet met are being prepared for the role they are about to play in your next chapter. Conversations are being positioned, timing is being aligned. What appeared as isolation was clearing a space so that what arrives next can arrive cleanly. Right now, I am healing something in you that you may not have named as a wound. A place where repeated disappointments created a protective bracing, a learned resistance to hope that developed because hope had been painful. I am touching that place, gently, because I know how it formed, and I am not careless with the tender things in you right now. As you hear these words, something is being released. A weight that has been on you so long you confused it with your own substance is being lifted. The shift may be so subtle you question whether anything happened at all, but the shift is real. Something is different in this moment than it was before you began listening. Can you feel it? A subtle lightness. A small opening in the chest where tightness lived. A quiet, involuntary sense that something good is possible, not forced optimism, but the deep knowing that arises from somewhere inside and does not need to be manufactured. That is my presence, my child. Not always thunder. Sometimes exactly this, a quiet shifting, a subtle warmth, a peace that arrives without being summoned and stays without explanation. I am here, right now in this room, in this moment, and I am not leaving, my beloved child. I want to invite you into something, a moment of receiving, not performing, not striving, not meeting a standard before the gift can be extended, simply receiving. I know that receiving does not come easily to you. You have spent so much of your life giving energy, giving care, giving your time and your effort, and sometimes what felt like the very last thing you had left. You have become more fluent in the language of giving than in the language of receiving. But this is what I am asking right now. Open your hands. Open the spaces inside you that have been clenched tight against the possibility of further disappointment. Just slightly, just enough. I am extending love, not the conditional version that shifts based on performance, but the love of a father who looked at you before you became anything and decided you were worth everything. That love is constant. It is the ground you stand on even when you cannot feel it. I am extending peace, not the absence of difficulty, but a stillness that can coexist with hard circumstances. The kind of peace that makes no rational sense given the state of your life, but that settles in anyway when I place it there. Breathe, let it settle. You only have to not refuse it. I am extending direction, clarity for the steps immediately ahead. Not the entire road. Just the next step, and perhaps the one after. Enough light for the ground beneath your feet, walk in it. More will come as you move, and I am extending hope. Real hope, not the thin and fragile kind that shatters with the next setback, but the kind that has my nature woven through it, enduring. Unbreakable, yours. Receive it, my child. All of it. It has always been yours. Simply open your hands. My beloved child, let me speak now about what lies ahead, not in vague and distant terms, but in the language of right now and very soon. There are doors ahead of you that have been closed until now, not locked, closed. There is a difference. Locked doors cannot be opened regardless of what you do. Closed doors are simply waiting for the right moment, for the preparation on both sides to be complete. Those doors are beginning to open. You will recognize them by the peace they carry. When an open door is mine, it does not require you to contort yourself to fit through it. My open doors bring a sense of rightness even when they are unfamiliar, a recognition, as though something in you was shaped for exactly this threshold. Watch for them. They may not announce themselves dramatically. They may look, at first, like ordinary opportunities, a conversation that goes somewhere unexpected, an invitation you almost declined. Pay attention to the quiet stirrings in your spirit as those moments appear. I will be speaking through them. There are also people ahead of you, people who carry parts of your purpose in their hands without knowing it, whose paths are being directed toward yours with deliberate intention. When they arrive, pay attention to the quality of your peace around them. Stay open. Do not disqualify what I send based on the packaging. And there are specific things ahead, a restoration in an area you may have given up on, an unexpected answer to a prayer that has been on your lips longer than you want to count, a breakthrough where breakthrough seemed impossible. I am not making vague promises. I am speaking with the specificity of a father who knows your individual life, your individual prayers, your individual name. I know your name. I have always known your name, my beloved child. I want to speak one final time about urgency, not the urgency of fear, but the urgency of love. This message has reached you at a particular moment, not arbitrarily, but precisely. And how you respond to what has been stirring in your spirit while you listened will have an effect on the season ahead. I am not threatening you. I am asking you to take seriously the weight of what just happened in you while you were listening. Something moved. Something in you that was braced has loosened. Something that was closed has been touched by a hand you could not see but perhaps could feel. Do not let the return to ordinary rhythms press this moment beneath the surface where you cannot find it again. Sit with it. Let it finish the work it began. Pray. It does not need to be formal or eloquent. It simply needs to be honest, your real voice, your actual words, offered to the one who already knows everything you would say and loves you completely before you say it. If you do not know what to say this with me now, Lord. You found me today. You interrupted me in the middle of ordinary life and spoke into the places I thought were too hidden to be seen. I do not have all the answers. I do not know exactly what is ahead, but I know that you see me, the actual me, with the actual fears, the actual questions, and the actual hope that refuses to die no matter how hard the seasons have been. I receive what you are releasing in this moment. I release what I have been holding that was never mine to carry. I trust you with my future, not because I can see it clearly, but because I know you are already there. Lead me forward. Hold me close. In your name I pray. Amen. My beloved child, you are not done. The story of your life is not in its closing chapters. The best of what I have prepared for you has not yet been written into your visible experience. The God who breathed life into you in the beginning has not forgotten what he breathed you for. You are seen, you are known, you are loved with a love that preceded your birth and will outlast every difficulty you have ever faced or will ever face. You are chosen not for your perfection, but for the purpose I embedded in you before you knew enough to choose it for yourself. Get up, step forward, the door is opening, and I will be on the other side when you walk through it. If this message reached your heart today, type Amen in the comments and share this video with someone who needs to hear that they are not done. You may not know who in your circle is sitting in the dark tonight, wondering if it is over. But I do. Share this for them. Be the reason someone else finds their way back to hope today. We pour everything into this mission of reaching hearts that need to know they are seen, heard, and loved by a God who does not give up on his children. If this touched you deeply, and you want to help us keep reaching people who need this message, you can support us through the Super Thanks button below. Every act of generosity helps carry this message further. You are not done. Say it. Believe it. Walk in it. Because heaven is not finished with your story yet.